Hello my friends, welcome back for more pointless challenges. We are now at 60 dupes as you can see, and I should probably show what the pointless challenges are. The pointless challenges are taking every single dupe possible until 100, only using manual power and producing every food type. So we've made some progress. We're feeling okay about our place right now. Not great. I do need to turn the corner about getting on more renewable oxygen sources because my water that I'm using to produce oxygen is about to run out. Just quickly glancing over the map, you can see some small pockets of polluted water. That's pretty much all I have to work with. Uh-oh. Okay, that was strange. That's pretty much all I have to work with as far as producing from these tanks. So I do need to get on new forms of oxygen. So let's check that out. That is coming up down here. And it's coming up slowly, only because there's so many things that need to be done before this, but we're getting there. We're getting close. I think what I'm going to be doing is keeping a pool of cold water here, because two things have happened since the last video. One is I do have cooling happening here with just one aqua tuner. I can turn on the other ones later if I need them. As soon as I get this sealed up, I am going to pump this air out of here, by the way, which I need to do. Keep an eye on this to make sure it doesn't boil. But yeah, so we are getting new oxygen sources up, and that's going to be happening here very soon, but the problem with this is that I don't actually have a lot of reserve water. This is all I have, and I do need to start capturing other sources, so realizing this, I needed to both get my cooling up so I could capture some of these steam vents, I guess cool steam vents is what they are, such as this, so I can get access to this water renewably. But also, I think I just needed to hit the bottom, so I just went ahead and did it. It wasn't very pretty. It's really way too far down here. One good thing that I did notice, by the way, is that we are freezing carbon dioxide solid. So that helps a little bit as far as dealing with the air pressure. But yeah, I've been trying to just get down there and into here so that I could start getting access to more vents and stuff like that. But of course, I don't see any as soon as I hit the bottom. So this is going to be a little bit of time. I may have to get into suits before I wanted to. And especially because our oxygen is still not that great as far as like pushing pressure down. So lots of problems all happening at the same time. I think my first batch of things that I produce oxygen for are going to go straight to my prison area because my prison area has grown, and the oxygen over here is so bad that they're often struggling to breathe. So I've tried to move a bunch of stuff over here in order to help that out, but it just hasn't been enough. So yeah, that's going to be my first objective. So yeah, I've queued up a whole bunch of different projects, which I typically do for these videos, so that I'm not so pressured to both play and keep up and also talk at the same time while trying to be somewhat entertaining. So yeah, so we're just going to be kind of perusing around and seeing what's going on for the next little bit. One thing I have done is I've copied my battery schedule. So I have all these batteries on different schedules just to ensure I have consistent power, but I've also done that for everybody else. So everybody else is on 3 different blocks of time off and stuff like that. This is mostly to help my oxygen, and that sounds really silly, but if you think about it, I have all of my beds in the same area, I have all of my food in the same area, and I have all my bathrooms in the same area, which means that everybody is going to be consuming oxygen from those areas at the exact same time. And that can be really bad. My saturation here would get down into the purple or even the red, meaning that I was having a difficult time keeping the pressure up enough that it would start pushing the gases down toward the bottom of my base. So that was a little bit of a weird thing that I noticed, and that's going to be just something to stem the tides for the time being. Nothing super significant right now, but it is something that I needed to probably address going forward. So I think my first couple of oxygen production machines, my electrolyzers, are going to first go here and help out this area, because this area is really bad. To imagine it's hurting my production a lot. And secondly, it's going to be going to probably the center of my base where my dupes sleep, just so I can start getting some of that pressure pushed down and finally get my ventilation stabilized, which was easily the biggest problem that I did not see coming from this type of run. What is happening over here? There's way too much polluted oxygen getting pushed out, but, you know, whatever. So yeah, a couple of things I'm trying to do to help my performance as well is I have set up more filtration. Here we go for dupe number 61. And I get interrupted all the time when I'm trying to do stuff not making videos, so this is very common for me. Let's see. We already have someone named Greasy. We don't have someone named Dr. Marty. Let's make this another battery. And print. And I want to set the priorities of this person, which are going to be here, operating. And let's move this battery over into the prison, and let's make it so that they cannot leave. Oh man, this performance is so bad. Will hopefully get better as I can clean up the map a little bit, which is exactly what I was just talking about. I have been making a little bit of an effort to try and ship things a little bit more. So I do have a couple boxes here. One of them is for eggs, and one of them is for everything that's going to be shipped over into the prison area, because my prison area, not only to produce power, is also doubling to produce all of my different goods, like lime, any refined metals, steel, that kind of stuff is all happening here as well. So anything I need for that is actually being shipped over here right now. And everything that does not need to be here is being shipped out, which means I have one big pile, which will happen, which is kind of like the exhaust of everything that's getting shipped right here. So if I zoom out, which I might have to do so I can get this as high as possible, you can see just this giant list of things that are all being piled into one place. I do eventually need to separate these out into boxes to help my performance a little bit, so I'll have to do that eventually, but it's not like mission critical right now. So I'm just gonna, for at least right now, be shipping them all to one small place. At least this small place, it's not great for performance to have them all interacting with each other in such a small area, but it is better than having them all spread around the map. So we are actively trying to battle against our performance. By the way, don't think I mentioned anything about my cooling, so let's talk about that for a second. So I do have some cooling up here. It's only on one thermal aqua tuner. I do have switches to turn the other ones on if I need to. I need to make sure to not boil this water before I'm ready, before I can blow this out into this other room. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. Do have liquid pipes coming up here that are just sedimentary rock. They're not like the metal pipes because I don't have enough refined metal right now. If I could find like a gold volcano, that'd be really helpful because I do have steam turbines right now. And by the way, I should mention that this is going to be a recurring theme where I am going to be connecting power to these steam turbines just to get rid of this alert, but it's not going to be connected to anything, so it's not going to break our rules. So you can see that this does not interact with the main line at all. They're going to be on their own separate lines, and I will be kind of reaffirming that every time just to make sure that I'm not trying to do anything sneaky and generate power from a place I shouldn't be. That would then invalidate our little challenges. So yeah, guess I'm probably the only one that's going to be too worried about that, but still is a thing. What did I mean to connect this to? I don't even remember. I do need power transformers. No, I don't need power transformers down here. Why do I have that? Huh, I don't know. Maybe it was for just this pump, because I don't want to actually run anything in here if this is going to be very temperature controlled. So that's one form of cooling that I have up, but the second form is going to be a pool of cold water here, and this is just going to be regular water. And that's because I have hit the bottom. So the bottom I have seen, and I've gotten into, but look at this. There's no vents anywhere nearby. So the vents that I'm going to need to use are probably going to be all on the very corners. Someone's suffocating, which is very great. Yeah, this just reaffirms the fact that I need oxygen production over here, because this is getting really bad. But, uh-oh. Oh, I have something coming in here. Well, this is kind of bad. How did this get in here? Someone's making a mistake. Could have just been overflow from the wrong place, but that's okay. I don't actually need this to all be polluted water. I just need enough so that this won't gas off and cause problems. So I think that's fine. I'm going to probably let a little bit more in, and then I'm going to seal this off. Actually, I should probably just do this right now. I wanted to seal this off because this is a good way to create a vacuum if you're filling something up with water. Then all the gas will just be forced out. Then if this water line recedes, there won't be any more gas in there, and that's what I want. Just so that this polluted water doesn't gas off or anything like that. I was not anticipating this to happen, though. This might actually freeze if I get it low enough, which will be okay, I think. Let me just allow some more polluted water in. We'll just move forward with that. But yeah, I'm having such a hard time finding vents. I think the vents are going to have to be in these like darkened areas, which is really inconvenient for me because these are not very breathable. Or they're going to be at the very bottom of the map, which, same problems. So that's going to be kind of annoying. But anyway, the cooling I'm planning on having here is just a regular pool of water. and it's going to be mixed with ice that I ship in from this bottom area. Now I know this is not going to produce as much water, but that's not what I'm worried about. I really just want to have this for cooling, and I don't want to pour water down here because it's so cold. You can see the temperature down here is like negative 200 in some places. It's so cold that it'll just freeze everything I pour down there, and I'm already at kind of a water deficit anyway. So that's definitely not an option. So I just need to work on getting the sources for my water and getting the cooling up so that I can start producing oxygen renewably rather than whatever's going on right now. I still don't understand how this water got in here. It must have come from a source that I'm not expecting. So there is another source that is for polluted water, which comes up into here. Oh, it may have been exhaust from my new bathroom system. That's probably what it was. That is annoying. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. Oh well, it'll be okay. Once we pressurize this a little bit, if the water in here happens to freeze, it should be taken over by the polluted water anyway, so I don't think that's that big of a deal. It does look kind of cool also, kind of like a nice little topper to this, I suppose. Do need to keep an eye on this and make sure I don't keep it too hot so that I don't want to boil this before this is ready, but we should be okay. Yeah, so other than that, I mean, there's not... The progress is slow. I mean, progress is going to be slow by this stage of the game just because of how much of the map you need to cover and how bad my performance is, so... Yeah, you might also notice the video is very choppy, and that's honestly the game. So I probably need to find a way to make this more performant over time. So let's start doing some of that stuff. Whoops, we want storage bins. Put down a bunch of these, and what I'm going to do for each of these, I'm going to make these, like, only take one resource type. I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the cheapest way to help increase performance, is just to give every single box its own singular resource rather than letting them all pile up into one place. So I'll have dupes, for example, move a whole bunch of something that's big here, like granite, into one of these boxes. And I'll just keep doing that as I get big enough piles in this one location, or here. I could do it here as well because it's we're building up. I will be replacing all these with the plum bathrooms, which are happening right now. And why are we not able to use this right now? Probably full of exhaust. Yep. We should be okay. So we'll be replacing all those outhouses, finally. This was also another reason to have these dupes on different shifts, so that everybody's not trying to use the bathroom at the same time. So yeah, I'm going to be replacing these. Probably just put some boxes down here to start storing some of the stuff that got shipped here. So you can even see in this pile, there's quite a bit of stuff that we could probably combine into alike piles. Like this rust, for example, could be in one box. But yeah, definitely need to keep up on that and help these videos not be so horrendously choppy, which is definitely the case right now. Let's see. So yeah, we've got some of these. I'm just going to start setting these to singular ingredients, and then I will have them requesting at a reasonably high priority. Maybe I'll just leave them as default, because they're not really that important, at least for, like, making sure that we don't die. Like, this is more so just making sure that the game performs well visually, so it's not that big of a deal. I'll probably just leave it where it is. So raw mineral, we want to go with granite. There we go. And we can also kind of scan through these and see what's worthy of putting into its own thing. So one thing, once it's at like 20 tons, I think it's worth putting in there. Everything else, I think it's a nod. Sedimentary rock, that's not enough. Granite, there we go. Another granite, another granite, another granite. So it's like 5 boxes of granite that I'm going to need at least. So let's go ahead and start setting those up so my dupes will move it. There we go. But yeah, what I've been doing to try to clean up the map a little bit is I've only been shipping out certain things from certain areas. So for example here, before I was only shipping out mealwood. But as I started to get these lines more clear, I was having to accept everything. So if there was big piles of granite here, which there probably was, or dirt, or clay, or whatever else might have been here, it would just move it all to one area. So you can see the areas that I've clearly done that to, like this, and the areas that I haven't, like this. There's just a bunch of junk on the ground still. So I'm just going to be moving all of that stuff to one location the best I can, and just having my dupes spread it out. I could reship this somewhere, but I just don't want to spend the power to do that, and it's also really slow. Some of my better dupes can move this in way bigger quantities than otherwise, so that's what I'm going to have them do as soon as they're available. They're going to be doing more important stuff for the time being right now. By the way, we need to check on our algae, which is really bad, so we need to do more mining. Let's see, what's something that's close to this area? I guess I could start digging this out, but that would be a lot of water. Is that okay? Don't want to do that. Maybe I'll just dig it out to the side like this first. There we go. But I need more algae, so I'm going to start digging into some of these biomes so that I can keep these dupes alive over in my prison. Should be okay. Get one more in there, I suppose. Man, this performance is so bad. I don't want to have to go down to ×1, but if it gets worse, then we might have to. So yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of work ahead of me to try to clean up the map. So we'll definitely be trying to do that as time goes on. I'm also imagining that having a lot of these shipping things running is probably not super helpful for performance, but I think it is a net positive as they eventually clear everything out. So that should at least be okay. We're having these starving warnings come by, which is interesting. I think it's all just the people inside here. We should have plenty of food. We have a lot of meal lice sitting around, so maybe I'm just not shipping enough right now. But yeah, this is a constant battle. Hopefully once we get 100 dupes, it'll be a lot more stable, and once I can start cleaning up the map and maybe vacuuming some parts out, that'll be a little bit better, but it's going to take a little while. Here's my dupes sleeping on shifts. This guy's a loud sleeper, by the way, so I put him into his own room. Yeah, we're just going to continually get these starvation warnings, and that's okay. As far as the rest of food, I think, and the rest of the things I'm producing, you'll notice that all these rooms are filled with smooth hatches by now, so my refined metals, which I'm just doing iron for the time being, so that I can make steel, it's going pretty well. These need to produce a little bit more plastic before I'm going to feel comfortable. As far as like reed fibers for suits and stuff, I do have plenty, so that's totally fine. The manufactured material is going to be where the plastic is, and I don't have any leftovers right now, so that's been a little bit slow. That's okay, it'll get better. Yeah, and you can see how bad the performance is with just one person, because this person knows that they need to go do something, but they're taking this long to decide on what to do next. So yeah, performance, I may just have to prioritize that as soon as I get my oxygen set up and running. Just try to clean up the map as the best I can. Also debating on how I may be able to help the performance locally, like if there's anything I could potentially get rid of, or if I could record in a different manner to help the performance, but I don't know if that's really going to make that big of a difference, unfortunately. But yeah, we are struggling super hard. This may also be a good time for me to change the length of these videos, perhaps. Like, if this is too long and nothing is actually happening because it's so slow, I could shorten these videos down to smaller increments and then just update on what has changed so we don't have to sit here and slog through this. So yeah, let me just go ahead and end this a little bit early this time. I'll just update on what has changed up until the performance gets better, and we'll go with that. I don't want to keep people around on a very slow playthrough and lots of choppiness and stuff like that. It's not super fun to watch, I imagine. So yeah, that's definitely some side effects of our challenges are happening here for sure. So yeah, let's call this video good for right now. I'll be back with another video here pretty soon. I think the next one I'm going to be doing is the shipping tutorial, which I said I didn't know which one would be first in the last video. So that's what I think is going to be coming up next, so look out for that. Thanks for watching. Drop any comments you have down in the comment section. I will get to them, and I'll see you guys in the next video.